our marriage wasn't really in a great place. And I bought this house really I mean, I wasn't to spite you or anything. It was kind of more one of those things. I just bought it just as an investment.
Well, you bought it, and it wasn't a decision that we made as a married couple.
Yeah, that's true. So here's a story of this little tiny, horrible, broken down house, and also how it relates to our broken, horrible, terrible marriage at one time. So the house was an absolute train wreck. It was, I mean, it needed everything. It needed floors, it needed walls torn out, I mean, electrical, plumbing, it needed a roof. I mean, it needed absolutely everything. And so it wasn't long.
It had a foundation. It had to be rebuilt.
It was around that time, I mean, that you and I were not in a good place. I mean, we were in about as bad a place as a married couple can get. And, you know, I wasn't living at home, and we were both out doing our own thing.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Living at home, then you move out, and it's just a lot.
Yeah. Were we back together then?
No, it was about a year after you bought it when I found out you had already started working on it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So it was about a year when you bought it, and then I found out that we still were not in a good place at all.
That's right.
So it wasn't until last summer.
Right. So
it was able to stay here. And
right. So it was a while before when we actually had made the decision that we were gonna, you know, really start to work on the marriage and get really intentional about staying together and being married. I went out to a friend of mine who lives in St. Louis, and he's a good guy. He had me over at his house. We were just talking about different things, and I asked him, because he's a very faithful guy. He's got a very strong faith, and I had asked him. I said, how do you tell me about your faith? And he says, hey, look, I get it. I'm not this Bible screaming, Bible thumping sort of guy. He says, look, get yourself an NIV Bible, which is a New International Version Bible, NIV Bible. So I gone to the local bookstore, and all the Bibles were NASB, King James Version, and they had one Bible that was an NIV Bible, and it had like a teal blue cover. I knew it was a Bible I would never. It was really small, it just was I knew it wasn't a Bible that I would ever carry with me, and it was just hard. It was hard to read just because, I mean, I'll have to admit my 47-year-old eyeballs, 46-year-old eyeballs at the time were having trouble. I'm in total denial that I can't see as
you
well.
have
But
glasses that you don't wear.
yeah, I have glasses I don't wear, so. So it was interesting because I didn't give up the search. I just kind of put it on my head. I said, well, I'll find one somewhere else. So I'm in the attic, and I'm tearing the chimney down from the inside because the roof had already been replaced. So I'm tearing the chimney down from the inside. There was nothing in the house when I got the house. Everything had been already trashed out, but the walls, we were removing the walls, removing the brick, the chimney brick, and everything else. And as I'm tearing down the chimney, I could look through the ceiling, and I could see through the ceiling into one of the only closets that was in the house. And I looked down, I could see an old newspaper in there, and it was cool because it had like from the 1970s.
It was 1953.
Yeah, it was older. It was really, really old newspaper.
I
So-
actually still have them.
Do you? Yeah. I reached down and pulled out the newspapers, and then also there was a Bible, and it was an NIV Bible. So the cool story about the Bible that I found, so if you can see this like square right here, that's where the one chimney was in the house. The other chimney was in the back of the house. And I don't remember how they must have used it there was a day heater or something here, but the chimney went up through there. So I was actually in the attic space, and I was tearing the chimney down from the inside. So I was just basically dropping the chimney bricks inside the chimney. And you can see on the floor here, like this line that goes right here. Well, that's as wide as the closet was. And there was a couple of shelves in here. It's the only closet that was really in the house. So it was really interesting because it was right around in here, somewhere in here, where they had trashed out everything else in the house, but they missed the Bible. And it was right in here where I reached down, I grabbed it, and it was the Bible's like right up here. And this is the Bible that I found. This is the NIV Bible. And the really cool thing is, and I still keep it in the Bible, but there's a photo of an older couple, and I'm assuming that that's who used to have this Bible, either him or her, but I don't know who they are. Maybe you could figure it out through a deed search or something, but I don't know. It's just kind of cool because I like to think that maybe they stay together for years, and that's going to be us. So it's a really, really neat story in terms of how I came to this Bible, came into my possession, and it was clearly meant to be. I kept getting called by God in a way that I felt like I needed to serve Him, but I didn't know how that was. And we were surely believers. It's not that we didn't believe in God, but we're certainly not like this biblical, you know.
I think the biggest thing for you is, I mean, we went to church and
Yeah.
we had our kids baptized and everything, but for you, you didn't talk about religion. We didn't talk really about God. We prayed. You know, we did what we, I think, individually and together thought that was the right thing, but you, up until last year, didn't fully accept God out loud. You accepted Him,
Right.
but to come to that path where, you know, now you can stand on the corner
And not be ashamed of it. Yeah, that's.
and it wasn't that you were ashamed of it, it's just that's how you were raised.
Yeah. So we got back together, and whatever it was, you said July 22nd. I think that's right.
It is.
Okay. So I thought it was the 23rd, but anyway, But the point is that it was around October, the following October. So we had been back together, really truly intentional as a married couple, for 4 or 5 months. Not quite 5 months, but I'd say 3-4 months. And the house was really starting to show signs of, wow, this is actually turning into a really cute little house. Little by little, it was starting to show signs of it, and it was, signs of that the house was actually could be a cute little house. It could be an amazing house for somebody else. And it was you who had said, this house is so much like our marriage, so much like we were. All right, it is September the 1st, 2020, and this is it. 603 South Lynn, it's done. Let's do the walk around. I am super proud of what we did to this house. Hard to believe it's the same one, honestly. And it's been a long ass journey, but this room was such a disaster. It's an amazing little house. Amazing little journey it's been on. And that's it. That's all there is. Amazing little place. There's the camera right there.
I know where the camera is.
Okay. Primping.
the house's life again.
Yeah.
And it's going to give, someone a chance to have their own home and beautiful memories and a chapter in their journey. And in the end, the house is 100% a resemblance of what we are right now.
Yeah. God was definitely seeking me out, and I just didn't know. I could tell that I was being called, but I didn't know how that looked and how. I mean, you hear like, "Oh, I was being called to do this," but it's literally like just bird seeing little crumbs along the way of this path. We are not this beating on the Bible sort of couple. I mean, we definitely have faith, and we definitely have flaws. And I think that was probably my biggest thing is like, well, how can I be this Christian when I've got all these flaws and all the things that I've done and everything else? And people just kind of reminded like, well, we're all pretty screwed up. It's okay. We pray together a lot, which wasn't. And there's times where we pray and look for guidance and comfort. This house has so much. I mean, I'm actually getting a little choked up thinking about.
It's emotional.
Yeah, I mean, we have an accepted offer on it.
Not just without God and all of the amazing people that we've had in our life in this last year. I think this house has played a huge part in our marriage and where we're at. And I don't know what we would look like if we didn't have it.
As we get ready to turn this house over to somebody else, because it's ready, it's time, it's another chapter, it's a chapter we have to close.
But it's opening up a brand new chapter too.
It really is. And we just felt like it was important for us to get our message out there. And there's definitely been people that we have wronged, in our marriage. There's definitely been people that we've dragged them into things that they didn't need to be involved in, and we're both sorry for that. It's just, but I guess we're not saying that we've got it all figured out, but just if there's a couple out there that needs to maybe see this, to let you know that it's never completely and totally hopeless, that truly through God, it is possible. So.
Our oldest is going to be 15 next year, and because of our walk with God and how we are showing up for each other and to each other has also changed both of them. But my relationship directly with Leland and also with you and the way that he shows up is completely different too.
Definitely. Love you, baby.
Love you too.